Hello everyone, Andrew here, and welcome to a very special video. Today, I am going to be playing RuneScape, and it might surprise you to know that I actually used to really love this game and be really into it, because all my friends used to play it, and it was a fun thing to kind of come home from school and do. Overall, I love this game, although it's had a lot of bumps along the way, and it's kind of really started to go downhill in recent years, but what has happened now is the people who make the game kind of realize that people are kind of starting to turn away from it, and that there's actually a demand for the game to kind of go back to its roots. So what they did was they opened up some old school servers where you can actually play the game exactly how it was in 2007. So I started playing this in about 2004. So I know a lot of kind of what the game was like back then, and stopped probably around 2009 and kind of played a little bit here and there in between that. And I do know what it was like most recently. The game was still actually not too bad, but then they started introducing microtransactions, and they wrecked the combat system in a way that I don't really enjoy it anyway. So these old school servers are something that are really interesting, and it's a game I really used to be into, so I thought it would be interesting to kind of take a look and see just what RuneScape used to be like all the way back in 2007. So here we kind of have the old school homepage, and welcome to old school RuneScape, and you get some news there and all that crazy stuff, but I believe that we should begin. So choose the best world for me. I guess that's apparently world 45. This, I think, loading screen's a bit newer. I don't know if this was added in, if that was there in 2007. Looks a bit too new. Anyway, we're gonna have some old school 2007 graphics, and overall it's gonna be really interesting. Maybe I should turn down the volume just a bit so I can hear myself think, because I'm wearing headphones, so hopefully nothing gets picked up by the microphone. Oh, but man, this is bringing back so many memories. This is the first time I've seen this title screen in years. Man, I remember the old school title screen, and they changed it, and they even took out like the old awesome RuneScape music, and it was some like dungeoneering music. I don't know. I'm sure that throughout this video, I'll be going on a lot about some of the changes that they made throughout the years that I wasn't super happy with, as well as a couple of other things. But overall, I hope that this is a lot of fun. This also isn't going to be a video about like bashing other online games or anything like that. Of course, everyone will have their opinions with which online games they like the most, but I'm not really into that. Everyone will like their own thing, so pretty much there's no point on debating why one thing is better than the other. RuneScape was an interesting game. A lot of people used to not like it so much, but it's kind of own thing, and not everyone's going to like it. But anyway, hopefully everyone enjoys this video. So yes, my name was 123Andrew456. I guess just, you know, my name with numbers on the end, lots of fun. As a member, you can change it. And also, I should note, the only way you can play this kind of old school server right now is if you are a member, and then you can vote to kind of take part. You get your first month of old school RuneScape free. So just for fun, I went and bought a month, just so I could kind of try it out, because it's something I definitely wanted to do. And as a member, you can change your username, but I'm not going to change something that I've been using since 2004. It holds too much nostalgia. So anyway, there's my username, and there's my password. Thank goodness it shows up as stars. And let's log in, and man, let's see just what we have here. It's going to be the first time I've seen this as a login. Wow, so yes. Basically, unfortunately, I mean, not really unfortunately, your stats from kind of your main account don't carry over, and my main stats are actually quite good. That doesn't really bother me. I mean, everyone's starting fresh. It's kind of interesting, and this is always kind of the generic first thing, like, it kind of starts you out as, and of course you have to modify it. But it's funny that whenever people use the bot, they would never change kind of the character template, so it would always look exactly the same. I remember when I first made my character, I accidentally made myself bald. It was kind of funny. See, I don't have a beard or a mustache, and torso, I mean, pretty okay. Let's see, where is legs? Yeah, shorts, why not? How do you change the color of things? Oh, here's the color. Okay, so got leg color, we got torso color. There's my blue shirt. Is that everything? I don't know. Let me see, arms. Oh, it's a super buff Andrew. This is funny. This is bringing back so many awesome memories, and hopefully people who are watching this or who used to play the game are seeing all the nostalgia and stuff too. Okay, so actually, that's not as blue as my shirt normally is. That's more like my shirt. I usually wear a green shirt and the gray shirt, although blue and shorts is probably my favorite thing. Okay, let's see. My hair's not super long, although it is kind of brown. Although overall, I mean, this hairstyle is probably the best hairstyle. That hairstyle is not super great. But yeah, the graphics aren't awesome, but you know what? The graphics don't have to be awesome. It's about the game, and some people might say the game's not so awesome, but it's not for everyone, like I said. So we are on Tutorial Island. I am definitely male. We shall accept. And there we go. Welcome to RuneScape, and we can log out, and that's about the only thing that we can do right now. We can also report abuse. Okay, so for people who don't know, RuneScape, you don't control it with kind of the arrows or anything like that. Well, you can control the camera with the arrows, but you control kind of your main movement by clicking in certain places, and you can click objects like this chest here and open it. And you can right click and you get more options that you can do with the chest, like search it, although chests never have anything useful in them ever. So of course, one of the best parts about RuneScape is kind of like playing with other people. So it's a massively multiplayer online game, so you'll always see a whole bunch of other people all over the place. You start off as level 3, you can see everyone else there is level 3. And yeah, so basically you start off on Tutorial Island, which, remember, there was massive outrage when they took this away from the main game, because everyone loved Tutorial Island. They replaced it with some other silly tutorial, but Tutorial Island will always be the best tutorial. Look at those graphics back from 2007. Greetings, I see you are a new arrival to this land. My job is to welcome all new visitors, so welcome. I'm not going to read every single bit of text. What we're going to be doing in this video is we will be taking on Tutorial Island and probably just doing some quests and getting all nostalgic about everything that this game used to be awesome for. We've already learned the first thing needed to see in this world, talking to other people, pretty much. You'll find many inhabitants of the world useful things to say by clicking on them with your mouse. You can talk to them, that's pretty great. Just reading through some of the supporting information on the website. Man, that information probably doesn't even exist. Whoa, massive yellow arrow. Please follow the instructions. I'm kind of doing that, thanks. Probably not going to try to spend too long at Tutorial Island, although, I mean, it is a super nostalgic part, too. I want to enjoy it myself as well. But there's not super much to do here. You kind of learn the main skills. You can't even train for too long here. I think it, like, caps out at level 3, all your stats. But we'll get to that as we go on. Flashing icon, and we have a wrench here, which kind of gives us options like brightness, color, brightness, music volume, run energy. We don't need to spend too much time on this. Yes, player controls there. We can scroll down. Kind of scrolls down into nothing there. So, do we need to talk to you anymore? Glad you're making progress. Continue, go through that door. Okay, so we can go to the door now. So yeah, basically the way it works in this game is that you have run energy. Normally you will walk, but if you click this button here, you can run for a little while, and depending on how much armor you're wearing, and like the weight of what you're carrying overall, the run will kind of deplete faster. It's an interesting thing, so I mean, you can't just constantly run and get away from enemies. You kind of have to, there's a bit of strategy there, although running never usually bothered me that it runs out. There's quite a bit. I mean, we have another guy with an arrow here to talk to. And welcome to cover. My name is Bryna. My job is to teach you this few survival tips and tricks, and first off we're going to start with the most basic of all, making a fire. So we get the hatchet and... Oh, sorry, not hatchet. That's right, in the new game they actually changed the axes to hatchet. I think to remove the confusion between pickaxes and normal axes. So basically we get the tinderbox and a bronze axe. So click the flashing backpack thing here, and here we go. So we got the bronze axe, which we can wield. Although you haven't been told to equip anything yet, so we can't. So with the hatchet in our inventory, we can go and chop down a tree. And after we do that, so basically you have to wait for them to chop it down. Basically, there's a whole bunch of different levels, and wood cutting is one of those levels, and as your wood cutting level goes up, you'll be able to chop down trees even faster. So now we have that. We can take the logs, use them with the tinderbox, and light a fire. And of course, there's even a fire making level. Oh. There's a level for everything in this game. Of course, this is 2007, so some skills don't exist yet, but we'll get to that once we actually... Oh, we can see the skills tab now. So it goes all the way up to Hunter. So basically, there's no summoning, and no dungeoneering, and there's even one more thing, which I can't believe I'm actually forgetting. Give me 1 second to think about that. Summoning, dungeoneering... And I am having like the most massive brain fart. I'm not even kidding. Because I mean, I know all the stats. They will come back to me in a minute, I'm sure. Here you can see how good your skills are. So basically, as you can see, everything, all of your levels are here. Everything is 1 out of 1 because there are kind of enemy spells and things like that which can temporarily lower your stats. Of course, hit points is kind of obvious, 10 out of 10. But sometimes your attack could be like level 50, and something can happen where your attack will be temporarily lowered to 40, so then it would be 40 out of 50. But man, it's kind of bothering me. What skill am I forgetting about? Unless it's something that goes somewhere else. You know, it's kind of really bothering me, actually. Anyway, we should go back and talk to this person. I'm sure I'll remember eventually. Well done. Next, we need to get some food in our bellies. Oh man, eating, the best part of the game. We'll need something to cook, so we're going to get the net. I'm not going to read everything because I pretty much know how to play, so there's not much point. I can explain it pretty much faster. So you take the net, and you use it on the fishing spot, and we shall catch some fish. And after we do that, we can take it over to one of the fires. It doesn't have to be the one that we made. It can be anyone's fire. And you can cook it on that. And, of course, you accidentally burn it sometimes. And there's also a cooking level. I mean, people are like, man, all these crazy things. Like, who wants to catch fish and then burn it? But it's more than that. You really have to play the game to understand just how kind of interesting it is. And, of course, kind of the community aspect, doing things with friends. It's so much fun. So, basically, we cook the shrimp. And we eat it, although we had full health, so it doesn't really matter. Hello again, although I don't need to talk to you again. Because this gate has an arrow on it, so you can open that. And man, you are just like the weirdest guy. Like the skip you want. Do you want to skip? Whoa, you can take us... Really, that is an interesting addition. I never knew that, because when I did the tutorial back in like 2004, I don't believe he was there. We're not going to skip Tutorial Island, are you kidding? This is like the one thing that everyone wants to do after not playing the game for so long. Although if you do want to skip past Tutorial Island, there probably will be like an annotation or something. But who would not want to see Tutorial Island? Next we have the Master Chef. Definitely not a TV show on Fox. Welcome, newcomer. I'm the Master Chef Lev, and he will teach us how to cook things. I already know how to cook, so yeah, the person taught me how to cook. So haha, so you call that cooking. This is where to learn how to cook on a stove. So there's fishing, and then you can cook the fish that you catch. Although there's also other ways to cook, of course, too, like making bread. So you mix the flour with the water, and you get the dough, and then you use the dough in the oven, and I missed it. And you get bread, and then we can eat the bread. And I've always loved it, and the bread looks delicious, so I believe that's all we need to do from you. Can we talk to you again and continue? Oh, wait, so I can cook more? What would you like to hear more about? I don't need to really hear more about any of this. I think I am just good enough with cooking. Although also, we have the music kind of thing flashing down here, and not all of the music in RuneScape is great, but there are a lot of actually quite decent songs. I believe this was after the music update. The music sounds pretty updated. I remember the music was like really kind of like bitty, where you could hear like the separate one of my kind of computer sounds. But they did an update at one point where the music actually sounded really good after. Although of course the old stuff wasn't too bad. But there is a lot of really good music in this game. There's a lot of so-so music. It kind of just fits the mood. But there's a lot of stuff that I would actually listen to even out of the game because it was so enjoyable. Anyway, let's see. So we can cook the bread again. Oh, we burnt the bread. Forget this. I don't need to worry about cooking. As long as I can, like, defeat stuff with swords, that's all that really matters. So let's go through here. And we can follow this path. And I believe the next thing that we are going to learn about is mining and smithing. We will get to the combat soon enough. But that's the thing. Overall, the fun part about RuneScape was training all these skills and then using them all together to complete quests. And, you know, like fishing and then cooking that and then taking it to go and defeat enemies as, like, your kind of health replenishing thing. It's just overall, it's a lot of fun. You may not pass. Try following the instructions. Man, what are these crazy instructions? Now, how about showing some feelings? See, flashing icons. Basically, there are also kind of like emoticons. Not emoticons, like emotions that you can show. You can say like yes, and you know, and an awesome head nodding there, or no. Man, look at these awesome graphics. And the dancing was always the best back in RuneScape that day. Look at that dancing. It's like shaking the arms and like shaking one leg off the floor. Ugh. I mean, man, what do I have to do now? Next guy, why not try running there? Okay, so basically we have to do running like I already said. Like, actually, we've been running this whole time, haven't we? There. Can we do that now? Are we good? You run energy, hit 0. So now we can click on the door. Now we can finally go down. Actually, we think we have to talk to this guy too. There's a quest icon here. Basically, in the top right here, we have this map. You can click certain areas to move to them, although you can also click the map, which is very useful, and they kind of like put a flag marker there. And then you will move to wherever the flag marker is. Man, there's another guy here in case I want to skip the tutorial again. Although we don't want to do that. The tutorial is actually not that long. Like, we're almost like done. It's kind of a quarter there. Welcome, adventure. I'm here to tell you all about quests. Quests are awesome. We'll start by opening the quest side panel. And we can open the adventurer's journal by clicking this kind of compass here. List of quests in the game. And this is very cool. This is one of the things they took out of the new game, of the modern game, which really annoys me. Quests are a major feature of RuneScape, and there are so many really awesome quests. They're kind of like what makes up the adventure. You put all these skills together because a lot of people, I mean, they want to complete the quest, and some quests kind of have like skill requirements before you can start them. So these, like, instead of having the quest tab now, what you have to do is there's like this notice board. You have to click the notice board and then click another tab and then click another tab, and it's a really big pain. But back then, you could just kind of look at this really nice, convenient list and look at all the quests. There's like 200 of them, I believe, in 2007. Actually, probably not 200 of them. Actually, I don't even think there's 200 quests at all yet. I think they're almost at 200. But I'm pretty sure there's over 100 quests. Because I believe, where is it here? Recipe for disaster. I believe that was the 100th quest. That was a really fun quest too. Although we'll not be getting to that today because that is a very advanced thing. But yeah, overall the quests are a lot of fun, and then they disgrace them so bad to just kind of shove them in another tab. Meanwhile, of course, microtransactions get their own tab these days. It's really quite ridiculous, actually. So basically, we've learned all about things now, and I think we have to talk to you again, actually. Why can't you reach that? He's like right there. Okay. Actually, I think we have to click. Okay, so there's something else we couldn't reach. Now you have the journal open. I'll tell you a bit about it. At the moment, the quests are red, but it means we haven't started them yet. But when you start a quest, it turns yellow, and when you complete it, it turns green. And there are a lot of really, really fun quests. We can go up these stairs here. I don't believe there's anything upstairs, except the arrow kind of forgot to disappear, even though we are in a different room now. We can kind of break into all of his cabinets. I don't believe we'll ever actually find anything in any of his cabinets, so there's no point on breaking into all of his stuff. So we might as well go downstairs. Oh, it's still really bugging me. What thing am I forgetting about? Man, it must have been a really terrible skill for me to forget about it so easily. Because I know it went Hunter. Actually, I might be forgetting something. You know what? I have absolutely no idea. I don't know. Anyway, we can go down here. And we are now in the cave, and now we will be doing that mining and smithing that I was talking about earlier. And what do you have to say? Hey, do you want to... Oh, darn, it's you again! I don't want to talk to you. Just go away. So you must be new around here, so what do I call you? Newcomer seems to be so impersonal. If we're going to be working together, I'd rather call you by name. So it's like, oh man, I'm 123 Andrew 456, the greatest name ever made. So basically, did he give us the items that we need? Try to oh, so wait, no, we just have to prospect it. They fixed, this is one of the things I actually did fix in the newer RuneScape. Where instead of having to prospect the rocks to figure out what kind of ore is in them, you can easily just tell by kind of right-clicking them. It contains tin, so then we can go back to them. And nope, I'm ready to move on. And we know it contains tin. So now you know the tin, the gray rocks, so now we have to prospect the brown ones. And they're definitely not going to contain copper. Oh man, predictable. But I guess this is the tutorial, and I remember the tutorial actually is very good when you first started playing back in like 2004 to 2007. It really did kind of explain the basics. And one contains tin and the other contains copper, and basically what you will do is you will give us the pickaxe, and with that we can now mine some tin and mine some copper, and we can take them over to the furnace over there, and we can create a copper bar which can then be used to create items. Such as like a pickaxe or a hatchet if we didn't already have one. Or even if you have more than one bar, you can create things like swords and two-handed swords and a whole bunch of stuff. And man, we haven't. I don't think we're ready to use it yet. I don't know. Let's talk to you again. Why not? I am ready to move on. So now we can take this over to the furnace and we can make a bronze bar. So you put that into the furnace and you make a bronze bar, and we have to go back and talk to him again so he can give us a hammer. So it gives a hammer, and then we can take that over to the anvil, and it shows us all the different things that you can make with bronze bars, although the only one that we can make right now is the dagger, just because, basically, smithing level is what determines what you can make. Like what kind of bars you can make, and what kind of items you can make with those bars. I think I also should have pointed out some other things. Some things haven't really been introduced yet, but like I said earlier, there's the cooking level, and the fire making level. As you can see, fire making XP is 40 and the next levels are 83. That's because when we lit the fire, we got some experience. So that's why we have 40 fire making experience at the moment. And a whole bunch of things, but man, it's really bothering me. What am I forgetting? What on earth am I forgetting? Anyway, we'll make the dagger for now. It's kind of really bothering me. Because I just can't remember what it is. Anyway, we'll go and talk to this guy. And nope, I'm ready to move on because I made the dagger. And now we can move on. So we can move on to this door. Can we wield the dagger, please? No, we haven't been told it. Although I believe this is finally where we learned about combat from this guy right here. Talk to the combat man. He is level 146. I believe that back in these days, actually, is there summoning? Yes, no, actually. Oh, is that the one I'm forgetting about? There's summoning, dungeoneering. I could swear there was still one more skill I'm forgetting about. Well, actually, maybe I'm not forgetting about one more skill. No, I'm not. I am sorry. Summoning goes here, and I believe dungeoneering goes here, and then 2 spaces are kind of talking about your total level. I thought that there was only 1 space doing that. Okay, so I don't believe I'm forgetting about any skills. My bad. Anyway, he is level 146. Without summoning, the maximum combat level in the game is 126, although with the introduction of that, I believe, summoning, I believe the maximum combat level went up to 138, which was kind of crazy. And only members could do it, too, which was weird. Anyway, we can talk to the combat instructor now, and yeah, that's my name. Don't worry about it. Even though it was me saying it. Do I look like I care? Oh man, this is Tutorial Island. You should actually teach us how to do stuff. So now we can wield a weapon. Actually, no, we can go to here, and this will show all the different things we have equipped. So we have helmet, necklace, cape, arrows, main weapon such as sword or bow or staff, shield, leg armor, a body armor, boots, gloves, and ring. And rings usually have magical properties and stuff like that. Actually, a lot of rings didn't really do too much. Actually, that's a lie. It's necklaces that didn't really do too much. So the rings, there was ring of recoil, dueling ring. Actually, there's some pretty interesting ones. You're told to equip items later. So from here, you can see all the stuff. Click this now to display that. Okay, so I click that. Let's get started by teaching how to wield a weapon. So we can click that, and now we have wielded the dagger. So obviously, there's a whole bunch of different tiers of weapons. It goes bronze, iron, steel. There's black, which is really strange because you can't make black. It's usually just a drop from enemies. So there's black, mithril, adamant, rune, and then dragon was a members thing. But when you're playing the old school servers here, everything is kind of in one. There's no members and non-members at the moment. Dragon, and then of course there's borrows, and a whole bunch of other things were introduced later on, which made things really complicated. Too many different kinds of armor, I guess. So I did wield a weapon. Can I go in here and start punching stuff, or do I have to wait for you to tell me to do more stuff? Okay, so get away from there. Only the. Okay, so you can also wield some tools. You can't wield the hammer, but you can wield the pickaxe or the hatchet, and you can use those as weapons too. And it's also convenient, if you're chopping wood, you can wield the axe so that it doesn't take up a spot in your inventory or inventory. Let's see. So let's talk to you. I like this guy here. He didn't change his character avatar at all. I love skin. Don't we all? Let's get started by teaching. I'm wielding a weapon though. From here you can see items you've equipped. Show equipment. Oh, so maybe I should click. So if we show equipment stats, it will show a whole bunch of different things. So items add a whole bunch of different bonuses, which determine how often you hit, how high you hit, and other things. So maybe that we've clicked that. Now it will be happy. So yeah, basically, there's a whole bunch of different combat stats. There's attack, strength, and defense. And you can decide which one you're training, although you can't because the tab is kind of missing at the moment. Attack determines how frequently you hit. So sometimes you will hit zeros on enemies, although attack is what kind of makes it easier to not get those zeros. Strength determines how high you hit. That's also kind of combined with the weapon too. Sometimes there's strength bonuses which help you hit higher numbers on enemies. And defense, of course, it doesn't actually determine, it doesn't make you take less damage, but I think it actually helps enemies hit zero on you more often. I believe that's how it worked actually. Defense stat, I kind of forgot exactly how that works, although I believe that is how it works. I don't believe it actually makes enemies take less off of you. Just makes it so that lower level enemies will very rarely ever actually land a hit on you. Very good, but that little butter knife isn't going to protect you much, so take these. So now we have a sword and a wooden shield. This is like Legend of Zelda the first here. Actually, not the first, like Ocarina of Time. You get bronze sword and a wooden shield, although I don't believe the sword in Ocarina of Time, the first one you get, was made of wood. So there we go. We have now equipped the wooden shield, which will add to our defense, and the bronze sword, which is of course a bit better than a bronze dagger. Depending on the weapon that you're using, you will attack at different speeds. So using a bigger, stronger weapon isn't always good, because if you're using a two-handed weapon, not only will you not be able to wield a shield, but also your attack is very slow. So while strong, sometimes it's better to use somewhat weaker, but more frequently hitting weapons. Here's what determines which kind of XP you get. So stab. It gives us attack, aggressive, accurate is attack, aggressive strength, and defensive defense XP. And every weapon will have kind of different attack modes that you can use, and also some enemies are weaker or more immune to different attack modes. So kind of switching them up for different enemies can be a smart thing to do. But basically, for now, we'll just train attack. Why not? How you gain hit point experience. The hit point is the only thing that starts at level 10. That's why you're level 3. Your combat level, as you can see, like his combat level is level 3, is determined by a combination of the different combat stats. So either attack, strength, defense, hit points, Or if you're like a mage or you're a ranger, those will factor in more than the attack, strength, and defense. And basically, that determines what kind of people you can fight in the wilderness, and kind of gives you... wilderness is another thing they took out later on, which scared a lot of people away, was where you can kind of fight anyone you want, as long as they're kind of within your level range. And your combat level also kind of determines, it gives you an idea of what kind of enemies you might be strong enough to fight. Of course, with the help of armor and different types of food, you can usually kill things a bit higher than your combat level. Just needed the drink there. I was also saying you gain hit points experience. You gain about 1 hit point XP for every 1 damage that you take off an enemy. So enough talking about defeating enemies. Let's finally go into the cage and start attacking one. So here is your kind of main form of combat. So that 1 attack did 3 damage, and he is out. Enemies also often drop things, such as bones. Bones are very good for prayer experience. I remember when I first started this game, I never knew what bones did. So you bury the bones, and that will give you some prayer experience, although it doesn't feel like showing up right now. So yeah, small bones aren't worth very much, although prayer level does play a big factor later on in the game, where prayers are things that you can use to kind of increase stats or make you immune to things. And depending on how high your prayer level is, the longer you can use prayers for. So burying bones is a very smart thing, although I'm not going to bore you with it right now, because it can take quite a while to bury a whole bunch of bones. But yeah, the attacking is pretty much you click an enemy, and then you kind of let the attack go back and forth. So some people always kind of complain, oh, there's no strategy in it. You just kind of click, and then the attacking starts. Although, of course, this is just the beginning. There's not really much to it. But later on, I mean, there's changing armor sometimes, and healing, and using prayers, and using potions. It actually gets very complex. Especially if you never paid to play in the members game. You probably wouldn't realize that, but things get very, very kind of in-depth later on. And a lot of people, like, they just kind of brush the game off as, oh, it's too simple and boring. It's kind of that simplicity I really like. So things don't have to be super complicated and over the top to be fun. Go on, kill that. I did kill that, right? Oh, I have to kill another one that has like a flashing arrow on top of it. Okay, so might as well go back in here. Hey, maybe we'll use the dagger this time, so hopefully we won't kill it right away. So you can kind of see how it would go back and forth. Although maybe something about like being in this area always makes me kill them right away. I have no idea. Like, do I have to keep killing you? You kind of don't die. Is that enough? It's always 1-hit kills, because it's not very hard to do 3 damage. Another weird thing they did in the modern game is they multiplied all the numbers by 10. So like HP has been multiplied by 10, prayer points multiplied by 10. Overall, that's kind of strange. Anyway, can we move on? I killed that rat. Like 7. Okay, maybe I should read this. While you are fighting, you will see the bar over your head. This bar shows how much health you have left. Your opponent will have one too. You will continue to attack the rat until it's dead, or you do something else. Hey, I've killed the rat like 17 times now. Not quite sure why it's not working, unless there's something here I'm forgetting. I mean, I used your sword. I mean, the flashing rat right there, I killed him. But he just kind of keeps coming back. And then he's over there somehow. Do I have like the glitched rat or something that you can never kill? Okay, there we go. Pass through the gate and talk to the combat instructor one more time. Okay, let's go through this gate here. And so basically, one of the things I was talking about is that a big part of RuneScape is the community and, communicating with other players. Of course, you cannot communicate on Tutorial Island. There's usually a chat box down here, although it's kind of blocked out so that you can't use it until you get off Tutorial Island. I guess they didn't want people like like hanging around here for a while. They just kind of want you to get off the island and then go and do stuff in the main game, which is always fun. I did it. I killed the giant rat. I saw you seem to be better than that. Da da da. Now we can use bow and arrows. So we used kind of normal melee combat, which is definitely the main kind of combat in the game. Although, I mean, I never really saw a problem with that. Although there are people who complain like, "Oh, ranging and magic gets so rejected." Well, that's never really bothered me because I don't know. I use them all. I kind of trained all of my stats equally, but I never really minded melee being sort of on top. I like using melee. But anyway, now we are using range. So we have equipped our bronze arrows as well as our short bow. I guess you cannot have a shield equipped along with a bow, which is kind of annoying sometimes. Okay, so anyway, now we have that equipped. The cool thing about range is that you don't have to go right up to an enemy to attack them. Sometimes you can hide behind rocks or hide in kind of like corners. Like maybe there's like a really big dragon enemy or something like that. And you can kind of hide between 2 rocks. And the dragon's so big it won't be able to get between those rocks to get to you. Or a case like this where you can hide between the cage and kind of attack the enemy from out here, which is actually really cool. I really like that. So that enemy actually might be too far away. But you can kill some enemies. Let's see. So now you have the bow and arrow. So I think yeah. So basically, this is another kind of cool strategy that I've always really liked. So you can use range and also magic too. Magic spells. Do not enter the pit. Oh, so I have to range them from outside. Okay. So basically, go over here and kill that one. Darn it! Someone else keeps killing the rat before me. Stop taking my kills. That's also one of the funny things about RuneScape too. Sometimes the worlds would be like really overpopulated, and it'd be hard to get an enemy to fight sometimes. But it was all just part of the fun, really. And I kill it. How many times do I have to kill him again? Let's watch my ranging experience go up and up and up. Okay, so why can I not kill you? Maybe if I go over here. There we go. Let's see how much ranging experience. This isn't giving me any ranging experience. Why? Actually, I don't know. Yeah, I haven't really been getting any combat experience from anything. So take you out. Hopefully, this won't be too much longer. That good enough? No. You want me to kill it again? Fine. But yeah, over the years, RuneScape, it kind of started to drift away from its roots. I mean, one of the main things that really sent me away was the fact that it introduced microtransactions. Because the whole point of the game is you train these skills, and you knew that if someone had like a really high skill, usually they trained it legitimately. I mean, there were always bots and things like that, which were kind of annoying, but it was still always good. Like, there wasn't too much of like I mean, between friends and stuff like that, there wasn't too much abuse. But just the fact that Jagex introduced a way in the actual game for people to just buy experience, it was really, really annoying, and I kind of just tarnished the way I look at the game and took away some of the integrity. And then they kind of changed a whole bunch of other things too, and I just started to like it less. So that was kind of why I kind of moved away, but this is a very interesting idea to bring back the old servers. So anyway, let's see here. So now we are at the bank. We have more awesome face graphics there. Yes, I would obviously like to access my bank account. That is why I'm talking to you. So the way the bank account works is that you only have 28 inventory spaces here, and that is kind of one of the main tricks of the game. Like gathering resources, going to fight enemies, you can't just take every single item you have with you. You have to plan kind of your trips and your expeditions accordingly, so that you have enough space to kind of pick up items, but you also have enough things to help you out, like good potions, good food, enough money to pay for things in case you need to. So that's where the bank comes in. You can store things in the bank, and then you can access a whole bunch of banks all across RuneScape, and they're all kind of connected. So whenever you access a bank, you can take out any of the items that you have stored in there. So we don't need this bucket, don't need this pot. Might as well take out the money, because who does not love to have money on hand? Never know when you're going to need it. Probably not going to need the hammer, probably not going to need the dagger. I actually, once you get off the Tutorial Island, I'm pretty sure that your bank is kind of like cleared out, and then they just give you a whole bunch of new stuff, because none of this is really any good. I'm just throwing it in there just for fun, but that's how the bank works anyway. Kind of interesting. And why would I want to go in here? What the heck do you want? Hello, who the heck are you? I'm the financial advisor. I'm here to tell people how to make money. So that's one of the main things about RuneScape too. It became so easy to make RuneScape in later years because of things like the Grand Exchange, where anything you wanted to sell, you kind of just shoved it in there, and you pretty much instantly got money for it if people wanted to buy it. But back in the day, you had to kind of make items yourself, and then you'd have to go into a bank and be like, bank sale, or selling bowstrings 160 GP each. I remember that was one of the ways I used to get money. Selling BS. Oh, the days. Those were fun. Playing with friends. Anyway, enough of you. I'm gonna take a drink while I click the mouse. Everyone else can read this. Okay, so basically, complete quests, kill monsters, use your skills to make items, and then trade them for money. That is how it works. And we can continue through this door and pretend that we never ever spoke to that guy. Okay. Now, I don't want to close the door. And man, Skippy, would you just go away? Look how much of the tutorial I have left. I really don't need your help. Anyway, let's go through here. Talk to Brother Braceface. My name is 123Andrew456, and here we learn about prayer, although I kind of already told everyone about prayer. Here is the prayers tab. It tells you all about the different prayers. So at level 1 you can use Thick Skin, which increases your defense by 5%. When you turn it on, your prayer points will go down. They go down at different speeds. Your prayer points decrease at a different speed depending on what prayer you're using. So obviously if you use like a much higher level prayer, your prayer points will go down a lot faster. And this lasts a lot longer than I remember it to. Maybe your prayer points don't... Okay, there we go. Since it's the first level prayer, it actually lasts quite a decent amount of time. So that's why you want to get your prayer level up. Because, I mean, look at things like this. Protect from melee. They've actually changed it now, where it only protects against 50%. But back in 2007, using Protect from Melee would protect you from all melee damage until your prayer ran out, and that made prayer a super useful skill. And there's also Protect from Missiles, which is like Protect from range attacks, and Protect from magic. And later on, there was even like members' prayers, like these ones, like Piety right here, which is super useful for raising your stats. Because you're fighting like a really strong monster, you could take off more, and like it increases your attack and strength. And you can also even combine them with other ones. So you could use like Piety and Protect from Melee. It will cause your prayer points to decrease faster, of course, but it makes you a lot stronger. So it makes prayer a very, very useful skill. When you run out of prayer points, you can find an altar or use a prayer potion to get them back. And yeah, that's why prayer potions are definitely one of the most useful things in the game. Very high in demand. So prayer list, and a game experience. And he also tells us about our friends list. And wow, look at all those friends who came back. As you can tell, everyone who's playing on retro servers, because they're 300, like in the 300s, no idea who this how that person's on that world. Your friends list can hold up to 200 people. It goes to show all of the different people I've met throughout the years. So a lot of people I would talk to for maybe like a week and then never talk to them again. But I always get really nostalgic going through my friends list. So these are like ones that people who have been removed. I don't know why their accounts got deleted, but they don't exist anymore. But other people, man, I have a lot of really good memories. Like, let's see if I can find some people. Oh, I just used to have so much fun with this game. Let's go down slowly. Kind of be really nostalgic. Well, one Inuyasha 0. He should be familiar to everyone. He is Zetsubou Matt. He is one of my really good friends. Man, he's one of those people I used to talk about. We used to play this game all night. Like till we'd play it all night, and then the sun would start rising, and we'd still play it all day after that. Like, RuneScape was just so much fun, especially when you had friends to play with. We do quests together. One of our best memories was when we did Desert Treasure Quest together. That was so much fun. Train skills, play mini games, Castle Wars. Those were the days. Didn't have to, like, just in high school and elementary school, just came home. Didn't have to worry about anything. Summer break. And even the ignore list brings back memories. I remember one time someone scammed me back before there was all this protection to kind of stop you from accidentally going into the wilderness. I wanted to buy an Abyssal Whip, which was like one of the best items in the game at the time, for 2 million golden coins, 2 million GP. And they lured me into the wilderness and killed me, and then they were like taunting me, so I ignored them. I can't believe I didn't just quit after that, but I have so much patience for these things. It's actually kind of unbelievable. Good times. It's funny to kind of just look back at it now. To read the rules so that you don't get banned. Let's start swearing all over the place. I wonder if they took out the swear filter, because that's one of the things, until like 2011 or something, they block out a lot of words. Like, you never even used to be able to say MSN. You used to block out things like MSN, I think like Google. So, of course, whenever I was talking to my friends, like Inuyasha, one Inuyasha 0, Zetsubou Matt, we used to have to call it NSM. There's so many good memories back in the day. This is just making me so happy. I mean, of course, a lot of the goodness coming from this is nostalgia. I'm not telling you everyone should play this. 2007 RuneScape is the greatest thing ever made. Of course it's not. Of course there's better things out there these days. But if you used to play RuneScape, this is just such a treat to come back and kind of do this. Now, this is the end of the tutorial, so you will know how long I have to wait before we get back to the main game. And I'm going to take a drink while we kind of go through this, because I am talking way too much. I'm getting very thirsty. Okay. Magic tab. Shows you all the different spells. Spells. Magic is very cool. And of course, this is where the rune in RuneScape comes from. You need to use magic runes to use the spells. So like right there, you need to have one air rune and one mind rune in your inventory to use Wind Strike. This made training magic very expensive, although it never usually bothered me. I usually had quite a bit of money. I think I had quite a bit of money when I stopped playing the main game, but not that it really matters anyway. So there is magic. And we need to, he gave us some runes, so yeah, there we go. So we have some mind runes and air runes, and now we can use Wind Strike to attack a chicken, a poor defenseless chicken. Aw, oh well. For the greater good. And it's dead. And it would drop items like chicken, and you could cook it and eat it, and probably taste like KFC. Finished. Now I'll give you a reasonable number of runes when you leave. So yes, I want to go to the mainland. And there you go. Find yourself, so yeah. So Lumbridge, the very first town where everyone starts off. That brings back some awesome memories. I also made tutors. Yeah, this is back in the time when they also had the tutors to kind of help you out on the mainland. You could usually get a bit of money from them. I never used them because I was really good by the time they came out. If all else fails, do that. And there we go. We are teleported to Lumbridge, yes! Welcome to the main game. And of course, our inventory is kind of changed here. Why is there no music? Why is there no music? Maybe after we click continue. Welcome to Lumbridge. To get more help, simply click on the Lumbridge guide or one of the tutors. These can be found by looking for the question marks on your minimap. If on your lost, look for the signpost or use the Lumbridge home port spell. There we go, Harmony, one of the most iconic musics of the game. Music's one of the most iconic songs of the game. I should also point out about here, home port is something that was introduced much later on. It used to be that if you wanted to get around, the only way was to train your magic skill and then use the various teleports that you used along the way. Although Homeport changed that, where here you are, you just started out the game, and you have Homeport, which will let you travel to Lumbridge. There is a 30-minute cooldown period on that, so it's not like you can just constantly spam it. And also, it does take a little while to cast, like you have to draw the circle on the ground, where other teleport spells that you learn can just be used instantly. Doom 4. Let's see, so we really don't care about what we're doing. So out of the items we got here, we have a wooden shield, we have a sword. Of course I said I like melee, so that's what we're definitely going to kind of use the most at the moment. We have some runes for magic. Although the first thing we're going to do is just kind of explore a bit, maybe do a quest or two. And the first quest that anyone should always do in this game is Cook's Assistant. So we should go to the free quests here, even though we can really do any of them. Where are we here? Cook's Assistant. So we can start this by talking to the cook. What am I to do? Oh no! What is wrong? Basically, this is the very first quest that pretty much anyone ever does in the game. Another really easy one is like Sheep Shear. It's kind of a shame that in the new game they've started removing a lot of the old quests. I mean, a lot of the original quests kind of are just fetch quests, so they're not super appealing, but still at the same time, it never hurts to just keep them in and add more new quests in on top of them. Like, oh, it puts like a bad kind of image on the game if people start and see that like there's fetch quests, but I mean, like, why does it matter? You're doing enough to wreck the game anyway. I'm always happy to help a cook in distress, so we can help. So we need to find an egg, flour, and some other stuff. So basically, now you will see that the quest is yellow, which means that we have started it. You can also click a red quest, and it will tell you where to start it and what kind of the requirements are. But Cook's Assistant, you need to bring him a bucket of milk, a pot of flour, and an egg. So just for fun, why don't we go and do this? We already have a pot and a bucket, and the egg will not be hard to get. One of the things about Lumbridge is that back in the day, it did not have a bank, which actually made it very hard to kind of use this town because later on they added a bank on the very top floor, which is kind of really weird. But you used to have to walk to Varrock. Oh, there is a bank on the top floor. I actually forgot exactly what year that was introduced in, so I guess this was already at that time. Okay, so good day. How many? I'd like to access. Actually, no. I just want to access the bank, so it's just use quickly. And I don't have a bank pin. Maybe bank pins weren't introduced then. Anyway, take all the money out. Well, why not? Oh yeah, that's right. We can type now. Thank you so much, man. Let's just type to a random person. See, I love kind of the community. So to LML, hey, how is it going? You can, of course, add people and talk to your friends. Anyway, I guess we'll bank some stuff that we don't need. Okay, so let's see. What do we not need? Might as well... We're not going to be doing any fishing or wood cutting right now, so might as well put those away. We don't need the shrimp. We're going to need the bucket. Hello, everyone from LML. Okay, I'm not going to need the dagger because I'm using the sword. Might as well equip the arrows since there's a separate slot for them anyway. Oh man, I'm just having so much fun here. It's supposed to be a happy face. Okay. What else we got? So might as well put the runes away. Actually, no, I might as well carry them around. Why not? Man, I am very picky about how I organize my kind of runes and stuff. So, I'll put that there. Might as well keep that on hand just in case. Might as well put the money up there just in case we want to use it. We're not going to need that. Might as well take some food, I guess, just in case we do start to get beat up. Put the pickaxe away. And there we go. Now we can finally start out on Cook's Assistant. So I mean, yeah, this is the very beginning. It probably doesn't give a super good idea on just how awesome the game can be, because I mean, there are, even in 2007, there were so many fun things to do. Of course, this is just kind of the beginning, though. So you're not really getting a good idea on just how expansive the world can get. Let me see if I can open the world map up here. I really hope that this does not mess like everything up. And you can see I have 3 emails, and you can see exactly what the weather is like where I live today. But here is the world map, and you can kind of see. So right now, man, this is really trippy the way that's kind of working. So we are in Lumbridge right here. So here's the castle that we are at. And there are just so many places to go. So we're pretty much gonna, I can kind of say where we're going to be going. We're going to be going over here to get the flour. We're going to be going right here to get the eggs. And right here to get the milk. And I mean, the world is just so expansive. It is so cool. All the quests that you have to do. It is a lot of fun. It's also kind of funny how this is here. Oh man, should I spoil and tell what goes there? Yeah, although that was for a quest that came out much, much, much later and is not in this version of the game. But it was an epic quest to be sure. Ah, I need a drink there. But man, so many good memories with all the different things I used to do with friends back in the day. Where I get armor. Your armor. You mean, really? Someone's actually playing this without playing the other kind of the game? Because most of the people who are playing this are members, so they've been playing the main game for quite a while, probably. So a lot of people will probably know kind of where a lot of things are already. So anyway, here we have this kind of goblin house here. This is kind of where everyone goes when they first start out. Kill some goblins, get some drops. And here you have combat at its finest. Yeah, this doesn't look super interesting. There's better combat systems out there, but like I said, I really like RuneScape's kind of simplicity in the way that you can even multitask while you're playing. I mean, people like playing a game. Why do they ever want to multitask while playing a game? It's just so much fun. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like, training skills, it's fun. Maybe you can like, watch a YouTube video where you're training fishing or something like that. No, I used to do that a lot back in the day. I remember one time in grade 8, it was one of those really stupid situations where it wasn't me doing anything, but kind of a lot of people in the class were like misbehaving. The teacher made us write lines. So I remember I would just like fight enemies on RuneScape while I wrote the lines out, even though I didn't do anything. I don't know why I actually wrote the lines out. I guess I'm just a good student, so I'm like, I might as well do it. Just so I don't get in trouble, just in case. But and then it turned out some of the good students didn't write the lines. They didn't get in trouble. But I played RuneScape while I wrote the lines anyway, so I never really cared. No, man, I'm dying. We're at 9 health. Stabbed in the face. Hi, everybody. Hopefully everyone replies with hi, Dr. Nick. Unless everyone's bot, that'd be funny if... Yes! Yes! You are awesome! W zert me. Okay. However you say that, you are the coolest guy. See, I just love the community in RuneScape. It used to be so great. It got really torn apart. Yeah, this is like... I always put the happy face. The community used to be so great. It used to be so much fun to play this game. Then as time went on, the community kind of got torn apart. And oh man, we have like some massive lag here. Guess I'll have to cut back when that's fixed. And we are back. Yeah, that was actually not a problem with RuneScape. That was just my internet connection having like an issue for a second. Anyway, let's continue to go in here. And we can get that milk that I was talking about, because of course there are cows. And where else would you get milk from? So, I guess we can go over to the cow, use the bucket on the cow, even while someone's killing it. Oh, only dairy cow. I believe that in the past, you used to be able to get milk from any cow. But then they created this, like, dairy cows, like people were killing them all or something. Use the bucket on the cow, and you get milk. So that is one of the 3 ingredients down. Next up, we will get the eggs, which are to the left over here. If we go through this gate, there are a whole bunch of chickens, and people are killing them. Chickens drop feathers, and feathers were kind of a big thing to trade. Feathers are used for the fletching skill. Fletching is a lot like crafting. Crafting, you make things like jewelry, some kinds of armor, usually for ranging, staffs. And then fletching was mainly just for making like arrows and bows. It was kind of interesting how they were so like 2 different skills, even though they kind of would have fit well together. But I guess crafting already had so many things. So one of the things I love to do is, because of the way that you can kind of just click on the map here, and the guy will go where you want. You can click like across the water, And he just kind of runs all the way over there for you, so you really can just do whatever you want while he's running over there. So again, RuneScape is one of those games that you can really multitask while you play, and some people might not understand the appeal of that. But it is actually a really good thing. It makes it seem not so tedious when you're training to be able to do other things at the same time. That's kind of what they wrecked with the introduction of the new combat system, but some people just don't understand that. And it probably doesn't sound too well when I'm explaining it either, but something you really need to try to understand. Anyway, if we go up here, I said if we go up here, so this is one of those situations where, oh man, my running ran out. Agility is a very good skill. When you train agility, usually by like completing obstacles and stuff like that, your run will replenish faster, so that's usually a good skill to train too. See, let's go up here. Darn it, actually, before we go up here, so we can climb down, I was actually supposed to go and get some wheat from this field over here, so please tell me man, 3% run back in like 10 seconds? That's like way longer than 10 seconds. Not super good. So yeah, it does get a bit tedious after a while, but overall, it's not usually much of an issue. Open the gate, darn you. Let's see, get some wheat. Go up here. Run, man, run comes back a lot slower than I remember, because in my normal main account, my agility level's like over 80. So my run comes back really fast. I do not remember the days of it coming back this slow, man. It's very, very terrible. I do not remember that at all. Anyway, if we climb up this ladder, you can put the wheat into the hopper here. Or actually the grain, or whatever it was called. And then you pull this switch over here. And then you can climb down this ladder and climb down one more time. And in here, we will have flour, which went into the pot that we had. And that should be all the ingredients that we need for Cook's Assistant. If we click this now, bucket of milk, pot of flour, and an egg, that should be all that we need. So, if we run back all the way there, but man, I just need another drink there. Thank goodness I got this glass of water, or else I would be dead. There were just so many fun things to do in RuneScape back in the day. And even though, I mean, this quest, like I said, is just a fetch quest, there are so many better quests out there, too. Desert Treasure, Monkey Madness, so many good ones. That, I mean, you don't understand how much fun the game really is when you were a non-member. And of course, I mean, it's not like I expect everyone to say, wow, look at these awesome graphics, and this game looks so much great. Of course, that the main reason people will play 2007 old school server is because of the nostalgia, but it's still just so much fun. Although it is really a shame that they had to change so many things about RuneScape the way they did. I mean, of course games have to change over time, I'm not arguing that, but it's just changing the fundamentals that is kind of like, I don't know why they had to do that, like changing the combat system completely. After like 10 years of it being the same, it doesn't really work because it just doesn't feel like RuneScape anymore. But I don't know, some people probably think I'm just sounding like I'm complaining, but it's definitely a lot different. And some people might think that the combat system looks like absolute garbage right now, and I don't blame you, because this is just the very, very beginning, but it gets so much more in-depth and so much more complex that it really is actually like a lot of fun once you get better. But of course, with terrible stats, you can't really do too much. But yeah, I really miss the days of staying up all night and playing RuneScape with friends. The game gets a lot more fun once you start to train some skills and get a little bit better. How are you with finding the ingredients? And I have the bucket of milk, and I have the pot of flour, and the fresh egg. And that is everything that he needed. And so we completed the first quest, and we got 1 quest point. And so yeah, basically quest points, you get a different number of quest points for each quest, and sometimes in order to start certain quests, or to get into certain areas, you will need a certain number of quest points. And of course, you pretty much always get experience when you complete a quest. And with 300 experience, we were able to get up to cooking level 4. And when you click on a level kind of thing, it tells you what you can do with the different levels. And this is another thing they changed too. Instead of making it nice and convenient, where you get this kind of just nice little pop-up menu here, your guy can keep chopping wood, or like fighting, not usually fighting an enemy, or like fishing, or whatever he's doing, while you're looking at your stats. They made it so it opens up a completely new screen, and it's just a really big hassle to do anything in RuneScape these days. They're making everything more complicated, and that's not good. I mean, complicated does not mean better. Simpler days of RuneScape were the better days of RuneScape, I definitely have to say. Climb down this trapdoor here. I believe we have the crazy chest of craziness in the corner here. I think we got Harmony too. Well, we really like this song too. But man, I remember these days. So much fun playing RuneScape. Man, the chest is not even here. I mean, although you cannot click the stand there, which is funny. Basically, spoiler, something appears here later if you do a certain quest. And in case it wasn't absolutely obvious, there's also a secret passageway behind this shelf. But anyway, but you cannot access that till you do a quest either, because that is really the soul of RuneScape. So many people don't realize. They're just like, oh, it's boring. You train skills and you do nothing. But there's just so many really great quests. And then you get some friends to play with you. And those were the glory days of RuneScape, when you played with friends and all that. Not, like, there are very, very few quests like Cook's Assistant, where it's just like, find 3 things, bring them to me, done. Of course, those are, like, there's going to be a few quests like that, just to kind of start you off and get you an idea of how the game works, like, where you can get those items from it. The game just gets so much better that you really can't judge it, even from what I've just shown. I really have not done the game justice at all. This was kind of just like a nostalgic video, like Tutorial Island and Cook's Assistant. Hopefully 2 things that everyone has enjoyed seeing. Although for now, I've been recording for pretty much an hour, so I think I'm going to stop for now. But if you would like to see more of RuneScape from 2007, let me know, and maybe I can do a few more videos of it. But anyway, I believe that is all that we're going to do for now, and I really hope that everyone enjoyed that. Well, yeah, there's also tasks too, and man, Karamja was the only one out at the time. Kind of like achievements. Oh man, everyone loves achievements and trophies, right? And little tasks that you had to complete in certain areas, and there's some really good ones that were introduced later on, although unfortunately only one of them is introduced at the moment. More coming soon. Maybe they'll introduce more. They might actually start updating the old school servers a little bit with a few new updates, although hopefully they don't do anything that wrecks it. But anyway, good memories with this. So yeah, if you have a RuneScape account and you're a member, come and play some 2007 RuneScape old school servers with me. It'd be fun to play with some people again. So anyway, hopefully everyone enjoyed this video. Even if you've never played RuneScape before, hopefully you just kind of got an in-depth look on what things were like 6 years ago. So anyway, I hope that everyone enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time for something different. So thanks, and see you later. Good times.